Hello everyone and welcome back to the SteemTrail Gaming podcast. Today is the 9th March of 2019. My name is Kralizec and I am one of your two hosts for the evening. The second is Tygergamer. Hello Tiger, how you doing?
I'm doing excellent. How about yourself?
I'm doing really well. I'm finally pretty much done with my moving. I have like 7 things left in my old apartment. Though one of them is still my bed. Because I still have to go and sleep there after this show. Because the new bed has still not arrived to this apartment. It will be arriving on Wednesday, so you know, that sort of sucks. I still can't sleep here. Though there's one positive about that. The second apartment is literally across the street.
Well, that's good. That's really good.
So I don't have to go far. That's actually the thing that made this moving happen within a week. You know, moving. There's actually a proverb in Czech that says, "I'd rather burn my house down than I would move."
I understand that.
Yeah, moving is just horrible, man.
Oh, dude. Back in July, I had to help my mom move from her house to my grandmother's old house, and that was in the span of a day.
Oh man, never move within one day. That's the worst thing you can ever do.
Tell that to my mother. Me and my brother, we had to help her move.
That was a dumb idea, wasn't it?
Everything. We had to move everything over there. And, but yeah.
Yeah, I luckily, it took us like a week to move most of the stuff. Yeah, we're still waiting on a few things. So let me actually show you this room. Show you guys. So yeah, this is my computer seat here, as you can see. My 2 monitors. My setup. I have a nice window next to me for once, so I will be getting some natural light, except for this show, because this show is taking place at night. And otherwise, there is a bed here actually, but it's really crappy, and I wouldn't suggest using it to anyone. And then there's an empty room. There's literally nothing else in here, because it's going to be like our work area. And the second half of the room is reserved for my girlfriend / fiance. And her work table still hasn't arrived either. That will also be arriving on Wednesday. So yeah, that's going to be a thing. And also sorry for the audio quality, as this room is quite echoey for the moment. I'm waiting on deliverance of some sound insulating foam, which will be put right in front of me. And that should help with that quite a lot. And also, you know, decorations and shit isn't here yet because, let's face it, first priority was getting work done so I could work. From there on, it's going to be the less important shit. But we cooked here for the first day. We worked on my girlfriend's thesis here for the first time. And it's actually really nice here. The apartment is just great. It costs us like $700 a month. It's not really expensive. It's not that cheap, but for the price, for Czech Republic, it's like average for what it is, and it's in great shape. And the best thing is that it includes a garage in the price. And man, I'm so glad I have a garage after like 2 years. The car just suffers when it's outside, you know? But we are not here to talk about me moving. We are here to talk about video games.
Yep.
So let's do that. What do you say?
Yeah, let's do it.
So what did you get to play this week?
Well, first off, I got to play a little game called Deltarune, which is the sequel to Undertale.
Oh.
So far, this is only like the first chapter, and it's like a demo. It's free, so you can download it without having to pay anything. But my guess is the full game will actually cost something. So, but from what I've played so far, I really been enjoying it. I really have.
So you're saying this thing is free so far? I might go and try that out.
Oh yeah.
I really hope it's as weird as Undertale was.
It is. It is. It really is.
I don't know. Like, I never really got that much into Undertale. It wasn't my thing. But
that's understandable.
For a lot of people I know, it was just amazing.
Yeah.
Is it not available? Is it available only for Switch, right?
No, it's available for Switch, PS4, I think Xbox One, and it's on PC as well.
And it's even on Mac, actually. That's sort of a surprise to me.
Yeah. I don't think it's on Steam, though. I think you need to, like, go and actually download it from the link that Toby Fox provided back when the game first released, so...
But I'm looking at... I just Googled Deltarune. What I find fascinating, it's actually made by Game Maker Studio.
Yeah, it's made by... That's what he used to make it, so...
Yeah, but I didn't know you could make Switch games with Game Maker, actually. That's actually news to me. That's actually, I think, great because Game Maker is incredibly easy to use. Like, literally, you can be a dumbass.
Yeah, in fact, I actually made my first game using that. So,
I wonder. Remember, is there already an Android version for Pixel Game Maker? Because that's also for them.
Huh.
But yeah, I still don't. Okay, that's RPG Maker, and it doesn't seem that Pixel Game Maker doesn't have still. I'm so pissed that that thing doesn't have export to iOS. Android. It would have been so great if Pixel Game Maker allowed that.
Yeah.
Either way, back to Deltarune. Well, tell us more.
Well, I will say though, even though this is a totally different game, you'll get even more out of it if you actually played through Undertale. So.
Yeah, I would assume so, honestly. Just filling it with Easter eggs and weird little notes that play a bit of an honor to that.
And not to mention, some of the characters from Undertale also have different roles in this game as well. So.
Yeah, well, that's sort of expectable, to be honest. I think.
Yeah, but yeah, going into like the like an Undertale, like when you go into combat, it goes into a combat screen and all that. You can choose either to attack or to act and try and spare your enemies. In this game, instead of just like having the enemy on the screen and then you have like your options at the bottom, now it actually goes into a full turn-based battle screen, which I found pretty cool. Like now, like one of the options, like one enemy, you can choose to like blow, or you can like choose to like breathe a blow on them. And when you do the action, instead of just telling you what it does, your character actually performs that action on screen. Yeah. So it's a little more detailed.
Yeah, actually, these details help a ton.
Yeah.
Like, make the game so far, just more natural, I would say.
Yeah. But yeah, so far I've been really enjoying it. If you're a fan of Undertale, I highly recommend you give this a try. It's free, so you got nothing to lose. It'll take you about 3 hours to complete. So, hey.
Okay, cool. So the game I got to play, well, since Monday, and with the fact that I've been moving, it's sort of actually amazing. I managed to finish this game. Well, finish the normal version. I haven't tackled the hard mode yet. I got to play Ape Out. So you might remember this one. This is the one about you being a monkey who just runs away from containment, I guess I would say, and you just go around murdering people. So I already started writing a review of this. I have not that much of it, honestly, written out, but it's really fun. But it does have two problems, and they're sort of connected. The first is the length of the game. So the game features essentially what I would call 4 zones, and each of them is like a vinyl of a jazz vinyl, you know, like the old ones.
Yeah, yeah.
And the game actually reacts to you running through it, and it changes the music based on what you're doing. Like whenever you kill a person, drums play a little bit. That part is actually amazing.
Oh, wow.
The 4 zones, or 4 vinyls, take you about, if you're playing correctly, 2 hours to finish.
Dang.
That's really short. And the game costs, which is the second problem, is $15. And $15 for 2 hours of fun. Well, obviously not the worst deal. Isn't also one of the best deals. It's just honestly, this would have been a game which I would, you know my typical estimate of you need to get at least 1 hour of fun per dollar. With this game, I would have been honestly okay with saying, okay, I will go away because it's just cool. If it was under $10, just $15 seems too much for this, really. Like, man. So once the game goes under $10, go for it. It's great. It's really fun.
Okay.
The aesthetic is great, and just the idea of that primal rage of being a gorilla, just murdering everything, is just really fun, and sort of speaks to the inner ape in you. Literally, this could be one of the best games ever for, you come back from work and somebody pissed you off and just, I'm just gonna be a gorilla and throw people around.
There you go. There you go.
But $15 is too much. On the other hand, if $15 is, you don't give a damn, Ape Out is a great game. It's really fun. So if you don't care that much about the value proposition of the game, go for it straight away. If you do care about that, maybe wait a bit and see if there's going to be a sale. I'm going to assume there's going to be a sale pretty soon out because there are so many indie games out there. The only place where I'm assuming it's not going to get a sale pretty quickly is going to be the Switch, which is sort of sad.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that's Ape Out. $15. Available on Switch, PC. I think it's also on console. Let me check.
I think it's on
no,
Switch.
only Switch and PC. And released by Digital Devolver and created by Gabe Cuzillo. Which is a cool name, I will say. Okay, anything else you got to play this week?
Yeah, the last game I had to play, I mainly play this for nostalgia, and that is Dying Light. It's actually one of the better zombie games out there.
Oh man, I just don't understand how you can still, in any way, play anything, or read anything, or watch anything that has anything to do with zombies. They've been so overplayed.
Yeah, I agree with that, but, there's, there's a lot of crap that's never played these days, but people still like them. And Dying Light is one of the few games I feel like zombies they actually make zombies feel terrifying again.
I will give them this. By 2015, zombies weren't as overplayed as now. They were overplayed, but not as much. So it's not their fault.
Sure.
Well,
Sure.
it is their fault that they're even more overplayed because they used them as well.
Yeah, but like I said, zombies in this game are a lot more terrifying than other zombie-based games. Oh man. But yeah, for the most part, yeah.
In what way are they more terrifying?
Oh, okay. Well, for one thing, you got different variants. You got your big hulking zombies. You got your demolishers that can charge at you. And at night, you got these things called volatiles, which are like these freaking agile zombies with freaking tentacle-like things that can grab you from a distance. If you're not careful. And sometimes they can actually come up behind you and like drag you to your death. I'm like, oh god. But yeah, another reason why I decided to play this week is I wanted to try and make it through the following DLC because I have not finished it yet. So, and I finally did. But yeah, Dying Light, it's one of those games that actually feels great to play. The story kind of sucks, but the gameplay, I'm more of a gameplay guy, so
yeah. Gameplay is always the most important thing. Like, whether you like it or not, it should be, and it is a good thing when it is the most important thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it just feels so good just running around, getting your momentum up, and just around just killing zombies while just keep on moving.
Oh, yeah. Anything else you played? Because I sure haven't.
Nope. Yeah, unfortunately, my internet went down Monday, so...
that sucks.
Yeah.
The sucky thing is going to be I'm going to have to go back to work on Monday, so it's going to be less gaming for me as well again. It's going to be more gaming than when I was moving, but less gaming than I would like to. Well, anyway, let's move on to the next section of the show. Let's talk gaming news. And let's start with something that's just gonna be controversial as hell, though for different reasons than you might assume. So some of you guys might remember last year, sometime this summer, I think it was July, we talked about Valve's new policy on accepting and releasing games on Steam. With them pretty much saying, yeah, we're just gonna allow pretty much anything that's straight up not illegal or just trolls on our platform. And kudos to them, they actually stood by their word, and there really wasn't anything that was pulled from Steam. There were games like pretty much anything there. You could just look like... Every week when I'm going through the list of games that are going to be released in the next weeks for recommendations, there's so much porn games there. I just, at this point, I just make fun out of it. Like...
Oh, man.
Yeah, well, literally, like, I have my girlfriend sit next to me. Like, you know, come help me pick the games that look interesting for next week. And put the counter on. And on average, for every week, we end up with like 20 to 30 games that are porn-themed.
Oh my god.
And as you might guess, most of them are themed in sort of an anime/hentai thing.
Of course, of course.
Who would have guessed? And she just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She just sits by me and we just do this, and it's sort of hilarious. And the fun thing is there's actually more of them because Steam doesn't show you all the games that were released, because many authors will just not set a publish date for their day, they just release it on a day when it's ready. So if I would literally count them, I'm betting there would be at least 50 porn-themed games per week on Steam.
That's more like porn shovelware.
Yeah, it's like visual novels, like that's the most common thing. Like dating games. Like I remember there was like a monster dating game, like try to date this monster, which is in a bikini for some reason. But back to the topic on hand. Yeah, there is going to be a game that's going to not be released on Steam. After a pretty big pushback from a community, I'm not going to say the community because I think it was just a community in this case, which was, we don't want this on Steam. They even make like a Kickstarter campaign, and when you hear the name of the game, you will understand why. The game is called Rape Day. And it's going to be a game, because it's going to be released, we just don't know where, about being a psychopath who lives in a zombie apocalypse. And the things you can do is going around verbally harassing people, murdering people, and as you might have guessed, raping women.
Dang.
And by the way, this is also a visual novel. What's the thing with visual novels and weird shit?
I think the reason being is because it's easy to develop, and if you want to get something out there very quick, you can.
Yeah, but why? Yeah, I'm not gonna comment because visual novels, they're really, really not my thing. So Steam actually
there's a few for me that I like, but other than that, for the most part, most visual novels are trash.
Yeah, they are, because they're usually essentially fan fiction. And
yeah.
Most of fan fiction really sucks. Let's face that fact.
Yeah.
But Valve made a statement around Rape Day, and the statement goes, over the past week, you may have heard about a game called Rape Day coming soon to Steam. Today we decided not to distribute this game on Steam. Given our previous communication around who gets to be on the Steam store, we think decision warrants further explanation. If you don't remember what who gets to be on the Steam store, that's pretty much them saying we don't give a shit about who is on Steam. Much of our policy around what we distribute is and must be reactionary. We simply have to wait and see what comes to us via Steam Direct. We then have to make a judgment call about any risk it puts to Valve, our development partners, or our customers. After significant fact-finding and discussion, we think Rape Day poses unknown costs and risk and therefore won't be on Steam. We respect developers' desire to express themselves, and the purpose of Steam is to help developers find an audience. But this developer has chosen content matter and a way of representing it that makes it very difficult for us to help them do that. So honestly, that I think is a very respectful statement.
Yeah.
I like the fact that they acknowledge that they don't want to silence anyone, even when they're sort of silencing someone by not giving them a platform.
True.
But even the developer himself, which because it's a single developer game, actually made a statement saying, I have not broken any rules, so I don't see how my game could get banned unless Steam changes their policies. My game was probably marked as adult and with a thorough description of all the potentially offensive content before coming to Soon page. However, if Steam does change their policy, and it's absolutely their right to do so as a private company, I will do what I can do and try to create or find an alternate way of selling and marketing my games. And further on, he came out a little bit later and essentially said stuff like, yeah, maybe Steam wasn't the platform I should have gone for, because it's sort of a really mainstream platform, and let's face it, his game is, well, the opposite of mainstream.
Yeah.
And said that he was essentially going to create his own store, maybe use his own like website. And I will say this controversy will likely actually make him sell more copies of the game than he would sold otherwise.
Yeah. Any publicity is good publicity.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, exactly. But there is one topic I would like to discuss when it comes to this.
Okay.
Why is raping people more controversial or worse compared to murder? Because we murder people in games like every day and we don't give a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck. What's the difference?
Yeah.
What's like the moral difference between rape and murder? Why is rape more terrible than murder? I really don't see why. To me, murder seems worse.
I think, and it's just a thought, but I think what it really comes down to is rape compared to killing in games. Like, yeah, sure, you go and kill somebody. Sure, you might leave some emotional scars to the people that were affected by the murder. Like, say that person had, like, family or friends or whatever. Whereas with, like, rape, if you leave them alive afterwards, that leaves them traumatized and emotionally scarred for life.
Okay. I see your point. Then let me try a slightly different comparison. There are games that allow you to torture people.
True.
What's the difference there?
Honestly, there ain't one. Because, one game that comes to mind right off the bat is a freaking torture scene in GTA 5.
Because...
And you freaking leave that guy freaking in pieces, missing a tooth after being electrocuted, and possibly brain damage, and just freaking drive to the airport, like, and that's it. And honestly, I would love to see a game that has both killing and all this bad stuff, but instead of just being mindless, I would love to see it to where, like, let's say you go and kill a random NPC or something like that. And then let's say that affects some other NPC that's close to that NPC.
That would certainly be interesting, but, like...
Yeah.
To reiterate my point, I understand that in the current cultural / social / political climate, especially in the United States, having a game that's literally called Rape Day might not be the best idea.
Yeah.
And I do really understand why Steam pulled the game, well, not allowed it to be sold. And I'm not putting any blame on them.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to understand the minds of the people who would protest this game and would not protest a game that features torture.
Yeah.
Because
true.
I'm not grasping it. Like, I personally, obviously, I'm not pro-torture, I'm not pro-rape, I'm not pro-murder, I'm not pro anything like this, because who the fuck is?
Yeah, seriously. But I also think when it comes to, like, Steam, the guy that's making this game, he's developing more of a niche game than anything. Whereas, like, let's say if Rockstar came out with a game like this, it was a lot more polished and it was in a visual novel, there would most certainly be a double standard for Steam. then.
Yeah, because they would have made much more money of that. This was obviously a business decision. This was, okay, so let's calculate how much money we're going to make of this game, because it's going to probably cost like $1. And even if it sells 1 million copies, we're going to get $300,000. But we would probably have to spend like $1 million on the backlash in terms of marketing, apologies, etc., etc. So obviously this did, and 1 million copies is still an absurd number. More realistically, even with all the press it got, it would have been like 100,000 copies, and then would be $30,000, and that's just a drop in the pond for Steam.
Yeah.
So they would rather just say, nah, we don't want this. And yeah, if it was something like Rockstar, let's say they made GTA 6 and one of the story elements would be you raping somebody.
Yeah.
Then I think they would have kept the game. For sure. That's a good point to put in here. And again, I'm not saying Steam did anything wrong. I understand their decision from both a business and even an ethical standpoint, to be honest, but more of a business standpoint. But truly, if you're one of the people who protested this game, I would love to hear from you. I would love to understand your reasoning.
Okay.
To know why rape is worse than murder, or why it is worse than torture. Because I just don't get it.
Well, honestly, the way I look at it, all three of those to me are equally as worse.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, sure, you kill somebody, sure, that person's dead, but it affects all the people that were around that person, that were close to that person.
Yeah.
Whereas like rape and torture, if the person's still alive afterwards, that affects that individual, that affects that person personally for the rest of their life.
Yeah, and it still affects the people around them as well.
Yeah, true.
And the same for rape.
Yeah, that's what I meant, all three.
So yeah, technically you could maybe sort of argue that murder is less bad than rape and torture because it affects less people, but there's a person dead at the end, so I don't think that equation really works out. Either way, let's move on to something more positive. Let's talk about Nintendo Switch getting virtual reality through Nintendo Labo. And man, this was really unexpected for me. I really didn't see this one coming.
Honestly, I had a feeling that they might do this.
I haven't, because of the fact that the display on the Switch has only a 720p resolution. So what the VR essentially is well, it's pretty much Google Cardboard, but you put it on top of your Switch instead of a cell phone. Let's face it.
And also, you also have to assemble it yourself too.
Yeah, because well, you did that as well with the cheaper versions of Google Cardboard.
Yeah.
But yeah, I actually love this. I think it looks great. I love the different peripherals for it. There's like one. The most weird one is the one that's an. Oh, there's two weird ones. There's the elephant head. And there's the duck, which you essentially stick your face into his ass. Have you seen that one?
Yes, I have.
This is like, this is how they're doing VR. Interesting. What the fuck are they thinking? But there's also other things. There's a blaster, there's a camera, there's a wind pedal. There's plenty of stuff, and what I loved about it the most is the price. $40 for the starter kit and $80 for the full set with everything. And I think that's a great price for trying out VR. And on top of that, it's easily expandable into more stuff in the future. Just release more Labo stuff that's for VR. If it's successful, if it's not, you just don't make more and say, "Hey, look, we made that."
You know though, it's funny though how this is coming out almost exactly a year after the first Labo kits came out.
Yeah, it's sort of their expansion. I think that just makes sense.
Yeah.
But the bigger question is, will it be successful? Will it actually gain traction for VR? Because let's face it, VR hasn't really been that much of a success, I would say. It's still very, very much a niche thing. I think a lot of people expected it to just blow out, and it didn't.
You know what's funny though?
Mm-hmm.
This is not Nintendo's first foray into VR.
Oh yeah, there was Nintendo Boy.
You mean Virtual Boy?
Oh, Virtual Boy, because that thing was just, well, nauseating is the literal word for Virtual Boy.
Actually, it wasn't, because I actually played it.
No, if you played it for a prolonged period of time, you would actually often get just nausea.
Nope.
Well, a lot of people did. A lot of people did.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, though. Hopefully, I would say maybe it might gain traction with the target audience, which is children.
Mm-hmm.
But for like the mainstream VR, I would say no, it will not gain traction. Unless Nintendo comes up with its own dedicated VR headset.
I don't think you need that dedicated headset. What I think this could target is the same audience that played like movement games on the V. You know, like the people who used Nintendo V for fitness, who played bowling with it, who played tennis with it. I think that is a perfect audience for VR from Nintendo.
But here's the thing, though. Mm-hmm. One of the things that those have, the things that didn't have, that this will have, like Wii Fit, Wii Sports, and all that. All you have to do is bring out your balanced sports. If you want to play Wii Fit, turn on your Wii and start Wii Fit. Or if you want to play Wii Sports, just start that up and just go and start playing. Whereas with the Labo VR, mm-hmm. you actually have to sit down, spend a few hours trying to assemble all the different things that you need to assemble to actually play the games. So,
well, that is a problem at this point of time. But that could be easily fixed by just... I think they're testing the waters to see if this gains any traction. And if it does, and it might because of the price point, because especially the starter kit, which costs only $40, is just amazing value. And like, compare it to a price of like a Lego set. Legos are more expensive than this thing.
Yeah, but also... For comparison, like me, I actually got a Labo kit last year just to see what it was about, mm-hmm. and I have yet to actually build any other crap on here.
Well, because you're a lazy fuck.
Actually, I built like one thing, and I was like, yeah, no, thank you.
It's pretty obvious that at the moment it's targeted at children.
Yeah.
And if it gets any traction with children, I think they might attempt to like release, let's say, a ping pong set or a bowling set, and that might actually work. I think decently well. I'm not sure whether my examples are good examples, but I think there are examples that could work somewhat easily. And if those gain traction, they might try to release like already assembled stuff that you could use with this. Maybe. Though I'm obviously just guessing. We will have to see in more time.
Yeah.
Still, the bird is most weird. Like, sticking your head into a bird's ass is just weird.
Yeah. I agree.
Anyway, I can't wait to actually see this either succeeding or completely flopping. I don't think there's a middle ground for this one. Honestly.
No.
Well, moving on to the next piece of news, and this one will be, I think, rather quick. EA will not be appearing at E3 this year. They made this announcement saying that they will not be coming to E3 because they will be holding EA Play on June 7th. So they don't really have anything to show for E3 since their own thing will be happening just a little bit before that.
Yeah.
So, what do you think of this?
Honestly, I don't care.
Well, the interesting thing is they're not the first ones to say they're not coming to this year's E3.
Yeah.
The first one was Sony.
Yeah. And Sony, I do care, but I really do think they're going to be doing their own event this year instead of going to E3.
So my own personal take on this is them just essentially trying to like almost have the thing like Blizzard has, having their own thing, where they have complete control, even though we all know how that worked out for Blizzard last year.
Diablo Immortals.
Yeah, but on the other hand, every year before that, BlizzCon was just amazing. So
yeah,
I'm hoping Blizzard and Activision learn from last year's BlizzCon, though with the fact that Activision has been acting on the past time, it's just, yeah, maybe not.
Yeah.
I'm so sad that Activision merged with Blizzard. Blizzard was so amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were like the cool kid of no, they weren't the cool kid. They were like the cool dad of gaming, of the gaming industry.
Yeah. I'm gonna ask you this: do you actually know how Blizzard merged with Activision?
I don't think so. At least I don't know what you mean, honestly.
Well, the reason how Activision actually bought Blizzard or got ownership of it is that I think like in 2008, Activision purchased Blizzard's parent company, which that gave them ownership to Blizzard.
Yeah, but Blizzard was so big they actually sort of merged into one thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, seriously, Blizzard was just, you know, not the cool kid in town, not the one introducing new ideas, but they were the cool dad who was like, yeah, you're 17, I'll give you a beer. They did everything so well. Everything was so polished.
Yeah.
And honestly, at least in this respect, that their games are coming out. Well, their games in beta are still often more polished than other games upon release, and we'll talk about that a little bit later in this episode. So, at least in that respect, they're still cool, but
yeah,
they did lose a bit of their mojo over the years.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to EA skipping E3. As you said, I don't give a damn, and honestly, good riddance.
Yeah, good riddance.
Okay, moving on to the next piece of news, and this one is again not that amazing. So we have a professional Fortnite player named Cowboy, who was a player for TSM, who has been fired after allegedly sending some inappropriate messages to an underage Twitch female streamer. The messages were revealed on stream by another streamer known as Faith, who's another girl streamer, and apparently they were sent to Faith by the victim, and the victim, who is an underage girl, said that the message made her feel uncomfortable. After this all started, TSM quickly fired Cowboy, and Cowboy himself reacted by deleting some of his social media, including his Twitter, Discord, and a few others. But his Twitch channel has been still working at the time when I was making this story, when I was preparing the info on this. Yeah, this is bad, man. So
yeah,
the only thing here is that I would have preferred if it was the victim herself who revealed the messages, not another streamer.
True.
Because that's like the only thing that's sort of putting me off, just to be sort of unsure whether this really happened. Because sometimes there's like people who just like to create drama, but this is such a serious accusation that if it was fake, man, that would be also bad in another way.
Yeah.
Cowboy himself, he got a lawyer to handle his case, and he insists that he is not a pedophile. Yeah. Man, I'm just not happy with this in anything with this. Cowboy himself, he made a statement. He said, "Hey guys, please don't believe everything you read on the internet. I'm not married, and I have hired a lawyer to clear my name, and I'm not allowed to talk about anything, but I'm not a pedophile." So you might be wondering why he said he's not married, because one of the allegations made by a guy named Rod Breslau, who is an insider for esports, said that he is married. So that sort of thing, that also throws me off. If there's misinformation from the start, that's just always... honestly, I just really hope he's innocent, but I'm not willing to say if he's innocent or not, in any capacity.
Honestly, my take on this is there isn't enough evidence yet, and of course, let's not jump to conclusions until either this goes to court or not. Just to, get our facts straight and make sure that we're not all just joining the mob mentality of going after someone because of a few allegations that may or may not be proven yet. So, yeah, if you're interested in this, I would say keep an eye on it and do your due diligence and actually do your research. Don't just read a few things here and there and just go, okay, he's lying.
So the evidence so far are text messages that were sent from an anonymous source to Faith, claiming that they are messages from another Twitch streamer. The thing is, it's so easy to fake text messages.
Yeah.
Like, what you really need are 2 phones, and that's all.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm just not happy with the story in any way. Either way, it's going to be a story about a guy who's a pedophile, which is just awful, or it's going to be a story about Twitch drama created by a streamer who was likely just looking to get more attention. And that's, in a way, maybe even worse, in my opinion, because the route, if it's just a Twitch streamer trying to gain attention, the route she chose to do it in is just horrific. But I'm not saying she did that. I'm just saying either he's a pedophile or she's a horrible person.
Yeah, and possibly making false allegations. But like I said, though, we need more evidence, and just messages from this, like text messages. Yeah, honestly, if he takes this to court, honestly, that's the way to do it. Instead of joining the mob on this.
Yeah, like the underage girl, the girl that supposedly sent the messages to Faith, shouldn't have shared it with her. She just should have gone to the police.
Yeah. Yeah, in fact, that's actually one of the things I don't understand. There's a bunch of allegations these days from various people, and instead of, like going to the police about it, they just freaking post it online and let the mob do the job.
Well, I think I understand it in this case, because if it is like an underage girl, like a teenager, then you have to remember, especially if she is a Twitch streamer, as it is alleged she is, social media is sort of her friends. And this is the thing you maybe first share with your friends, and then you go to the police because they told, oh man, you should go to the police.
Yeah.
So I sort of understand it in this case, but in general, yeah. Don't just put random shit online and go to the police straight away, because that's the proper protocol.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, yeah. Let's leave it at that.
Okay, and let's move on to our last story for the week. The big story of the week. Anthem crashing consoles. So yeah, the mediocre game from EA, at best mediocre, is causing full system crashes on both the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. This is a released game. This is how EA handles releases. Fuck you, EA.
Yes.
So, to put a bit more information on the story, what's essentially happening, for some players, Anthem is just crashing the console mid-play, making it just unable to work. And when you attempt to close the game via the sort of taskbar that's on the PS4, what is it called on PS4? You should know that. Like when you try to force stop something.
Honestly, I don't call it anything. I just call it the media bar or something like that.
Okay, so you just essentially use the taskbar to force crash this thing.
Oh, the quick menu.
Okay, so yeah. It totally shuts down, and you actually have to unplug it from the outlet and plug it back in to even get your console back running. There have been some claims from Redditors that said that this is just completely breaking their consoles, but none of them have actually come out to be true, so it seems there's only a crash issue. Quote unquote, only a crash issue. Only your game completely crashing your console.
Wow.
It seems to be happening more on PS4 rather than the Xbox One, but yay. EA actually released their own statement saying, we are aware of crashing issues some of you may have been reporting for Anthem game. We are investigating and ask that you share your crash data reports when prompted. If you have, we'll be reaching out to gather info. If not, please reply to this thread at answers.ea.com, etc., etc. There was actually another statement that came out later that week, which essentially said, so far we haven't destroyed any consoles. We looked into it, but doesn't seem we destroyed any consoles. Yay? We're not that bad as you might have thought. But holy hell. How is this a state in which you release a game?
Yeah. Honestly, though, when is EA going to get their shit together?
Never.
I mean, come on. I mean, they're just pretty much... They can't possibly fall any deeper than they already have. And if they do, I'll be surprised. EA, get your shit together and freaking give the time needed to develop games. Don't freaking rush them out of the studio.
So, I actually watched the hour-long... No, I actually watched almost 2 hours worth of a review on Anthem from Angry Joe. Like 40 minutes of an actual review, and then there was a second video. It was like hour and something of just like post-review talk. And in which he actually used a term that showcases this perfectly. So when you hear this word, MVP, what do you think when you hear MVP?
I think in the industry, in terms of the industry, I think it goes like most viable product or something like that.
You're close. It's minimum viable product.
Yeah. There you go.
Because most of us, when we hear MVP, we think most valuable player.
Yeah.
But for EA, it means minimum valuable product.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they did with Anthem. They put in the bare minimum. So from the review, actually, if you take a look at like the promotional videos from the past and watch them carefully, you will notice there's a ton more shit ready for the game. But it's not released. It's not available on launch. Because what they did, they developed a full game, but released like 60% of it. And the rest is going to be released as DLC. And that's abhorrent.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't see how people at BioWare and all these other studios that work for EA, I don't see how they're still there.
Well, the thing is, they aren't. Like, most of the staff from the original BioWare is not there anymore. They left.
Good.
Because they realize this is not what they want to be doing. Yeah, the money was probably nice, but you know, most people still have like a soul, unlike EA.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I hate to say this right now, but BioWare is a shell of its former self. It's just an empty husk with EA inside of it.
Yeah, it's just a name at this point.
Yeah.
It's nothing more, nothing less, just a name.
Yeah.
And it's sad. It's really, really sad.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, me being an optimist, I was hoping Anthem would actually be pretty good, but nope.
Yeah, were you mistaken? Well, I was pretty sure it's going to be an average game, and that's exactly what it is. An average fucking game.
Honestly, though, I will applaud them for one thing, and that is releasing a demo a few weeks prior to release.
Yeah. And I think I will applaud them on one more thing, and that is the flying is actually amazing.
Yeah.
Sadly, the rest of the game is repetitive, boring bullshit.
Yeah, same old type of crap.
And microtransactions in a $60 game.
Yeah.
Because EA. The way it's meant to be played. No. Not anymore. Okay, and that's it for the news for this week. Sadly, we're ending this on a very, very negative tone. But let's take a look at games that are releasing next week that actually look fun. I actually have 4 games that look fun for next week.
Oh, wow.
So let me actually start by a game called Agent 9. And this is a game from a single developer who goes as Noodle Games, and it's a first-person shooter with actually really pretty graphics, I would say. And otherwise, I think it's just a normal shooter, but I really like the graphics, and I dig the fact that it's made by a single person. And I also dig one more thing. It has a demo.
Wow, that's awesome.
If a single person can make a demo, big studios can make demos. Make this a thing again.
I think it is. I think it's slow. Demos are slowly but surely coming back.
Yeah. But yeah, Agent 9, available on Steam on March 15th. And you can just go in right now, try the demo. So maybe you like it, maybe not. That's the ideal way it should be done.
Okay.
So, do you mind if I do one more before we go? So, my second game, and this again is, I think it's going to be an average game. It's not going to be amazing, but it's a game called Velocity G. And this is a 360-degree tunnel racing game, which I have pointed out for one simple fact. It has split-screen multiplayer. For up to 4 players. And again, I don't think the game will be that special. I think it will be average racing game. It looks decent. Again, I really dig the graphics. They're sort of cartoony, not high definition by any way. They're essentially, it's like a single color on one texture. But yeah, I really dig the fact that it has split screen. There really is a lack of split screen games these days. At least on PC. It's a bit better on PlayStation. Not that better, sadly.
Yeah, it ain't.
But yeah, this thing is coming out on the 11th. Sadly, we do not have a price. But yeah, it does look cool.
Okay.
Okay, what about you? You probably have some AAA title, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, since I'm up on console, we don't get like a huge list of releases that are coming out this week, so.
So what do you
first
have?
game I'll start with is the Division 2.
Oh.
If you're a fan of the first game, hey, you'll like this game. If you're a fan of shooters or anything like that, and you like Ubisoft games, yeah, you might enjoy this too. To me, besides the story and all that, to me it just feels like another looter shooter.
Yeah, it is another looter shooter, but I think this one will actually be good.
Just wait to see.
I really think, from what I heard from people playing the open beta, from people playing even the closed betas, they seem to like it. They seem to say that Ubisoft has learned from the original Division. There's going to be more content available straight out of the bat. And honestly, that's really all you need in a looter shooter. You just need content to go through.
Yeah. Honestly, if the Division 2 does turn to be good, honestly, and I'm prepared to make the statement, Ubisoft is like the polar opposite of EA. They actually learn from their mistakes.
Yeah, which is sort of weird to see. Like, there was a time I liked Ubisoft almost as much as I like EA. But they've gotten better. And that's a nice thing. And to a degree, that gives me hope for EA, but not really.
Yeah, I agree. Unfortunately, it's a full price game, so it's coming out for PC, PS4, and Xbox One. So,
and
fan of the series, it's coming out March 15th.
Okay, my third game for the week, not the last one still, is a game called 1001st Hyper Tower. And this is a roguelike first-person shooter set in an Arabian cyberpunk world.
Huh.
That just sounds weird, doesn't it? Like,
yeah, it does.
That's not a theme I would have ever come up with. And that's literally the reason I'm picking this thing. Because the theme sounds just great. Arabian cyberpunk? Otherwise, it's your typical roguelike fighter shooter. You just go through levels. In this case, literal levels, floors in a tower, and try to go as high up as you can without dying. We'll also have to see if it's any good. This thing is coming out also on the 11th. Only through early access, we will have to see if the game actually is worth the money. I will be trying. Actually, I think I will be trying this one out. I like roguelike first-person shooters, and there's not enough of them on the market. At least not enough of the ones that are actually good.
Yeah.
And the theme really, really seems interesting.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, well, what else do you have to recommend for next week?
The last game I have to recommend is One Piece World Seeker.
Oh, anime. No. Why?
Hey, not all anime is bad, dude.
I know, but no. So yeah, what's World Seeker?
It's pretty much an open world One Piece game where you get to travel around this island called Prison Island. Unfortunately for me though, I will not be playing this game. I still need to get caught up, but for the most part, yeah, this looks like a pretty good licensed game.
Yeah, it actually does for the trailer. I will say that it looks like a just fun, real sort of brawler game. I would say.
Yeah, but the reason why I'll be playing this myself for at least a while anyway is I still need to get caught up with the series. Episodes of that show, I'm like, I don't have the freaking time for this.
Yeah, I understand that. So,
yeah,
it's coming out on the 15th of March, and it's gonna cost $50. Or 60, it's 49 euros, so I never know if it's also $60 or $50.
Yeah, it's gonna be $60 over here.
So for once, they're not screwing the Europeans over. We're actually getting a fair price.
Oh wait, where are you looking at on?
Steam.
Steam. Okay, so it's coming to PC as well. So it might be cheaper on the PC.
Oh, so they are screwing PC gamers, maybe. Oh, European PC gamers.
Yeah, unfortunately, but yeah, if you're a fan of the series and you've watched all the previous episodes, I'll say go and give this game a try.
Okay, and I have one more game, and this one is sort of a game I wouldn't recommend to most people, to those who like puzzle games or maybe are looking for something to play for their children because they want their children to learn a bit about logic. This thing called Cubicity. And this is a sliding puzzle game with cute animals that look like cubes, and the point is to get each of the animals into their correct place by sliding them over by solving puzzles. I just really like the aesthetic, to be honest.
Okay.
I don't think the game will be that great. It's just going to be another puzzle game. We have seen bajillions of these. But it does look decent. I've seen worse games. It sort of reminds me of... do you remember Sokoban?
Sokoban? I don't think I never even heard of that.
That's like the only PC game my mother ever played. It was a game about putting boxes to their right place. Though this thing is pretty obviously a mobile port, you can see that from the graphics. Actually, let me see if this thing is available on mobile. Because it does seem like it's... no, it's actually not on Android. Let's try iOS. I actually don't see it on iOS either. That's weird. It has like, 3 stars. Maybe it's gonna release for Android as well. And if it releases for mobile, and it's for a decent price in mobile, I think it could be a good game for mobile.
Yeah.
Does it have like a website? No, I don't see a website. I see their Facebook. Let's check out their Facebook to see if it's coming to mobile as well. Oh yeah, it will. No. Yeah, it seems like it is coming to Android at least. Yeah, so I might actually try this one on Android.
Okay.
Okay. So that's it for the recommendations for last week, and that brings us to the end of today's show. So let's do the typical shilling because we are shills, and everybody knows us. We do this only for the money, for nothing else, ever. Not because we like gaming. No, just the money. So where do you want to go first?
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube as Tygergamer. You can find me on Steam at Tygergamer. I do Let's Plays, and hopefully I'll get around to actually freaking finish my review of Kingdom Hearts 3 here soon.
Yeah, you should. You actually should. And you can find me on YouTube at Kralizec Gaming, where I do gaming reviews, and on Steam at Kralizec, where I do science and gaming news and gaming reviews. I'm try to finish my Ape-Out review. Really gonna try. I don't know how the audio will go because of this fucking echoey room this week, but I'm gonna try to get it done this week. And with that being said, that's going to be it for this week. We hope you enjoyed today's show, and if you did, please consider subscribing to the channel, giving us a like. If you're watching on Steam, it may be follow the blog, and again, give us a thumbs up. And either way, if you're watching on Steam or on YouTube, be sure to leave a comment on any of the topics discussed today. More precisely, tell us, do you think murder is worse than rape or torture?
Yeah, would like to hear.
So, see you guys later with more gaming content.
Y'all have a good one.